Hi, everyone. Today we're going to learn how to use Excel to calculate the probability of a given sampling distribution. So let's go ahead and get started. So here we have an example of EAI employee data. Suppose the personnel director believes the sample mean will be an acceptable estimate of the population mean if the sample mean is within $500 of the population average. So they want to know plus or minus 500. The question is, what is the probability that the sample mean is going to be within plus or minus of the population mean? Now, in this case, we're talking about average salaries. So the population average salary that was calculated was $71,800, and the standard deviation that was calculated was $730.30. So we can see this visualization here of the graph, $71,800 in the middle, the upper limit of $72,300, so that's plus 500, and the lower limit of $71,300, so that's minus 500. Now that we have this information, we have all of the information that we need in order to calculate the probability and answer this question. So we have the population average, we have the population standard deviation. We know what we're looking at, the plus 500 and the minus 500. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a tool or formula called Norm.Distribution, and that's in Excel. You can see the formula down here where I have the formula entered on this spreadsheet, but we're going to go ahead and do this together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use my Norm.Distribution function, and I'm going to start with the upper value. So this is the population average plus the 72,300. So basically what I'm saying is I want to find the probability under the curve if I start from my left-hand side. So coming here from the left, and I want to find the probability under the curve up to this value. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate that using my Norm.Dist function. So let's do that here using this upper limit. And you can see the formula. Once I start typing it in here, Norm.Dist, you'll see it come up in Excel. And it gives you here the information. So this says, well, what is your mean? So my mean is my average, is my population average, or the upper limit that I'm looking at. And you can see here, 72,300. So let's take a look at that. We're going to put that in there. And what is my population mean? So I'm going to refer back to this value here. And then it says, okay, put in the standard deviation. Well, that's this value. So I'm going to refer to that. And then cumulative. Yes, we want that to be true. So I'm going to select true or type in true. And let's change this value to 4 decimals. So this is the probability under the curve from the left-hand side coming all the way to the left, all the way up to this value of 72,300. So that's the probability, 0.7532. Now let's calculate the same thing using the lower limit. So here what we're trying to do is we want to actually calculate the probability under the curve starting from here, starting from this end over here all the way to this value. So we've calculated the probability all the way to here. Now we're calculating the probability from here to here. And you can imagine what we're going to do next after we've got those two probability values. So I'm going to go ahead and do my Norm.Dist. Okay, so what is the average or the data value that we're looking at? We're looking at this lower limit value of 71,300. So I'm referring to that. What's my average? My population average is there. What's my population standard deviation? And I'm going to type true here for the cumulative value. So notice now that that gave us a lot more value. So we're going to have just 4. So I'm making the formats the same. So now I have the cumulative value from the left-hand side all the way to this point is 0.7532. The cumulative value or probability under the curve from here to here is 0.2468. However, the question is, what is the probability that the sample mean that's computed will be within plus or minus 500? So they want to know the area of that gray or that blue, dark blue area there. So they're wanting to know what that area is going to be. So basically, this area in this dark blue section here. And if we know the probability, cumulative probability from here to this point, and we know the cumulative probability from here to this point, in order to get this dark blue or this purple area that I've shaded now, you just need to subtract the two values, the two probabilities. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to take this minus this value, and that gives me the cumulative probability. So this is going to be answer the question, what is the probability that the sample mean computed will be within plus or minus 500 of the population mean? Well, that probability is 0.5064, and that's with 4 digits of precision. Okay, so you have the formulas here as well that you can refer back to. I hope this example was helpful to you in learning more about how to use Excel's Norm.Dist distribution function to calculate the probabilities of a sampling distribution. All right, see you next time.